was formed roughly 4.6 billion years ago. There are two theories as to how the planets in our solar system were formed. The first theory is core accretion and works well for terrestrial planets like Earth. However, the second theory, disk instability method, could explain the creation of giant planets.
The hydrosphere and atmosphere was formed 3,600 million years ago. When they first formed, there was no free oxygen in the atmosphere, only in the form of compounds of carbon dioxide and water.
The only time I wouldn't want you to do it is when the fraction doesn't go into the microorganism. And then you start rounding, and then your answer starts.
Early life, or bacteria, was found 3,500 million years ago. The early forms were prokaryotes and were single-celled. Fossils have been found in rocks of these single-celled organisms found by paleontologists.
My event at 2.5 billion years ago is free oxygen's buildup in our atmosphere. Bacteria, through photosynthesis, released more oxygen than iron and other oxygen wells in our seas and everything could take in. So free oxygen as O2 was released into the atmosphere, also causing the extinction of many other bacteria that were anaerobic or didn't use oxygen.
Eukaryotes. They first appeared around 1.4 billion years ago. The first eukaryotic cells evolved from prokaryotes and have traits from both the Archaea and Eubacteria kingdoms. There are currently two main hypotheses, the autogenous and the chimeric models, that try to explain the eukaryotes' true origin.
There are three different theories for how multicellular organisms were formed. The first is different unique cellular cells got mutual benefits from each other and evolved. The second is a single cell with multiple nuclei evolves by giving each one a separate membrane. The last is that selective pressures made the cells separate and form multicellular organisms.
Soft body animals occurred around 680 million years ago. They don't have a skeleton and are mostly from Animalia family.
Free oxygen nearing almost like present. They're 1 to 20%, like around the Earth.
And animals with hard shells include tortoises, armadillos, turtles, and crabs. A shell is a hard, rigid outer layer, which has evolved in a very wide variety of different animals.
Vertebrates first appeared around 400 million years ago and are recognized for having backbones. Early vertebrates were fish.
Land plants, also called green plants, are multicellular eukaryotes of the kingdom Plantae.
Modern humans walk on two legs. We have a four-chambered heart, and we have a brain and the ability to reason.
Land animals. The first known land animal moved like a seal and was a transitional species between a fish and a terrestrial animal.
Amphibians are in the kingdom of Animalia and usually live in aquatic ecosystems. They are about 360 billion years old and they adapted to their environment, whether it was a wet or dry environment.
Flowering plants evolved 140 million years ago and are a result of the Plantae kingdom.
The earliest seed-producing plants. The earliest forms produced seeds along their branches without specialized structures. Most seeds were produced singly or pairs.
Reptiles are 300 million years old and are cold-blooded vertebrae and have dry, scaly skin. Dinosaurs were living creatures not discovered until after becoming extinct. Through dinosaur fossils, we can conclude that there were all sorts of types: big, small, flying, walking, omnivorous, and carnivorous. They lived on Pangaea before continental drift. Their extinction still remains a mystery.
Mammals were born 225 million years ago. They are a clade of endothermic amniotes that have hair, 3 middle ear bones, mammary glands, and neocords.
Pangaea was a supercontinent that formed on Earth 225 million years ago. Pangaea covered about a third of the Earth's surface.
Pangaea broke up in the middle of the Jurassic period about 165 million years ago into the supercontinents Laurasia and Gondwana. A rift resulted in the North Atlantic Ocean.
Flowering plants occurred 140 million years ago and are a result of the Plantae Kingdom.
Early birds lived 55 to 40 million years ago and were about the size of a German Shepherd.
The Rocky Mountains were formed over many millions of years through many complicated geological processes involving tectonic plates. There are two main causes of the formations: the Laramide and Columbian orogenies.
Most primates live in tropical and subtropical regions of the Americas, Africa, and Asia. They are in the kingdom Animalia. They came to be from their ancestors that lived in the trees of the tropical forests, which reflects the adaptation to the type of this environment.
About 55 million years ago, Mount Everest was formed by the Indian continental plate quickly moving towards Europe and Asia. It moved at a pace of 15 centimeters a year, and it closed up the ocean Tethys, which separated the parts of Pangaea. The other Himalayas were formed in the same way, by the moving of tectonic plates, which collide and squeeze rock together, forming volcanoes and mountains.
Separation of Antarctica and Australia happened 50 million years ago. It happened because the seafloor shifted and they moved away. Many fossils were found on both Australia and Antarctica.
The Mississippi River is 35 million years old. It flows for over 2,000 miles and is one of the longest rivers in North America and passes through 10 states.
Monkeys evolved from Prosimians 35,000 million years ago. Compared to Prosimians, monkeys have fewer teeth and a larger brain.
The Antarctic ice sheet is one of the two polar ice caps on Earth. It covers about 98% of the Antarctic continent.
The land bridge between North and South America formed 5.7 million years ago when two of the Earth's tectonic plates collided. The heat and pressure created by the plates caused volcanic islands to form. Over time, sediment filled in the gaps between the islands to form the bridge.
The hominids came to Earth 4 million years ago and form a taxonomic family of primates with 2 chimpanzee species, 2 gorilla species, humans, and 2 orangutan species. All hominid species other than humans are extinct.
Lucy came into existence 3.2 million years ago. It is the common name of AL2881. It is 40% of a female skeleton of Australopithecus afarensis.
The Pleistocene Ice Age was 1.6 million years ago, even though it is classified as a geologic age from 2.5 million to 11,000 years ago, and it was the last major ice age